Listen to this incredible story. There was an Egged bus that was coming into Jerusalem from Tel Aviv. Now, the travel between Tel Aviv and Jerusalem is about ballpark between 50 minutes to an hour. And this bus was coming up the mountain on its way into Knesset Ha'ir of Jerusalem. And as he was coming to that last exit of Rishon LeZion, right on the outside of Jerusalem, suddenly the sirens in Desert Storm go off. Now it seems that the protocol of the Egged bus driver was that when the siren goes off, he is to stop the bus, and wait for the siren to finish. But that was only when he's local. On a highway, the protocol is different. He is to pull off the highway to the first exit he can find, and he is to go into the nearest place and find any government building and let his passengers off to go down to the Miklat. In Israel, all government buildings were built with a shelter in the basement. So he would let the people off to go down to the shelter, wait for the siren to finish, and once danger is clear and they get the okay on the radio that it's time to come out, then everyone would come back on the bus. He'd bring them back up to Jerusalem. So this was a scenario where the Egged bus found itself on the highway, not in the streets. And then the siren goes off. So he pulls into Rishon LeZion, he drives into the city, and he finds the first government building. And quickly he opens the doors and he tells everybody, Chevre, kulam achutza, everybody out, everybody downstairs, follow me. The bus driver jumps off the bus and everyone follows him. And he goes downstairs into the shelter. Now the shelter is pitch black. There's no electricity. And it's a big door, this big metal door. They all go into the shelter and they close the big metal arm on the door that locks that door. And now everyone's sitting and waiting. The siren is going and going and it's not stopping. This was a real raid. This was a big hit. A lot of missiles coming in on this one. So then there was another bang on the door. They're thinking, who is that? Open up the door. And a guy, an Israeli guy, he says, I was just driving by on the highway and I heard the siren and I panicked. So I pulled off to the first exit, just like you, just like the bus. And I pulled up to Rishon LeZion. I pulled up to the first government building I saw and I ran downstairs. And here I am. He walks into the room with the passengers of the Egged bus and he sits down and they lock the big metal door. As he sits down, he looks to his right and he sees a guy. And the guy looks at him. And he looks at the guy, and they're both just looking at each other as they're sitting next to each other. And one guy screams, Ariel, and the other guy screams, Reuven. Ma? Ze ata? Suddenly, the whole room goes quiet. Everybody wants to know what's going on. This new guy that just walked in seems to know one of the passengers from the bus, now stuck together, sitting together, in a shelter, locked in with the sirens going. Hey, ma holech kan? What's going on? You guys know each other? One guy says, do we know each other? We're brothers. And we haven't spoken to each other in over 25 years. 25 years. And both brothers look at each other and they burst out crying in this pitch black room, in a shelter, in the basement of this government building. Locked behind the metal door with nowhere to go. The sirens go. And then they hug each other. And they cry, and they cry, and they cry. And one brother turns to the other and says, why did it take us so many years to get back together? We fought over such stupidity. We had such a good business together. Why did we listen to the people around us? Why did we listen to the greed of our wives? Why did we allow other people to come in and to kind of get us to instigate one against the next, till finally two loving, successful brothers became enemies to the umpteenth degree. I miss your children's weddings. You miss my children's weddings. 25 years. Loving brothers. Did not say one word to each other. Ignored each other for 25 years. Until one day Hashem said, enough. Enough. I'm going to bring the two of you together in some crazy, out-of-the-box, miraculous way. And I'm going to have the two of you locked in a room together. If they would have brought a rabbi in to try to bring these two brothers together, if they would have brought a mediator in to bring these two brothers together, it could never have been as well planned as the way Borei Olam pulled this one off. But this guy was on a bus coming to Jerusalem. His brother was driving in a car coming into Jerusalem. They both happened to be on the same highway at the same time when the sirens go off, just to be diverted to the same government building in Rishon LeZion. What's the chances for both to run downstairs, this guy with the people on the bus, this guy alone out of his car, to be locked into a shelter, would have no choice to look each other in the face for the first time and just burst out crying on each other's shoulders? Coincidence? I don't think so. Open up your messages. He's talking to you. Nothing in your life happens for nothing. Every single thing, every phone call, every moment, every opportunity, every rise and every fall was all orchestrated by Hashem. Before it happened, it was a message for you.